Today we're going to look at how to build a literary discussion. There are a wide range of parts, and we're going to begin with the opening sentence or the introducing sentence. Here in our sample, we're going to identify who is the poet or what is the name of the author who would have produced the work. And that, in this example, it is Ian MacDonald. Ian MacDonald is the author of the poem Yasmin Ali. So in our introducing sentence, we're going to make sure we have the author's name. We're going to have the uh, um, the name of the piece, and then we're going to indicate what is the technique we're going to be discussing. And the technique that we're going to be developing further is called juxtaposition. Now, there's a wide range of techniques that one can use and you may discuss, but today I'm using this as the example. So we have the introducing sentence. That would be the first sentence that appears in that paragraph, in that literary discussion paragraph. This of course, is one of the paragraphs that will appear in the body of the essay. Once we would have given the introducing sentence, then we're going to provide a quote. We need a specific line from that passage that's going to back up what we are saying, what we identified. And that line is, some men have lives of sweet and seamless gold. And so here, Ian MacDonald establishes from the very beginning that there are some men, they have enjoyable lives. Once we would have identified that line that we're going to use to build our discussion on, then we're going to try to define the key words in the quote. So in this particular quote, the word we want to define is sweet, and we define it as sugary or syrupy, and we also define the word seamless. Okay, let's see if we can put that in bold. And it means whole or unbroken. So we're going to take that dictionary definition now, and we're going to try to apply it to that literary line and see if we can break it down even further. How do we do that? We're going to take the line and explain it now in our own words. So that is going to be the next point. It says, in other words, that is usually a key way I ask my students to give us an explanation in their own words. In other words, some people live enjoyable and quality lives. So what we're basically doing is taking the words that we defined and trying to figure out or decode the deeper meaning of what is being said by the author or by the poet. Once we would have done that, explain in our own words, then we're going to go even further. We're going to elaborate. So in purple, the next step would be elaborating. So it says here, despite this fact, in line 3, the poet pens, not Yasmin Ali though, not that old charcoal man. The word not denotes all others except Yasmin Ali, the person who we are talking about in the piece. So let's continue. The juxtaposition, here we go back to what we said we would be focusing on in the introducing sentence. The juxtaposition of the lines makes us understand, the juxtaposition of the lines make us understand that while other men have been experiencing good fortune in their lives, this particular man, Yasmin Ali, has not been so lucky. So what we did is we tried to decode break down the material before we drew a conclusion in order to draw the conclusion. Now, although we are talking, we may be focusing on the technique of juxtaposition, we are also using or referencing other techniques that helps in our understanding of what the poet is trying to say. So you notice here, the technique of repetition is being mentioned, and the technique of descriptive language is also being mentioned. And we're mentioning those because that is how we are able to come to a conclusion or draw an interpretation of what the piece is really trying to say. So it says the repetition of the word not and the descriptive language, old and charcoal, also appeal to us visually and makes us feel compassion for this man. So we are also wanting to respond personally to the text. This is another way that another thing that makes our literary discussion personal or intimate. As we wrap up, it says, in his old age, and even despite how hard he works, life continues to handle him roughly. So once again, we are further explaining what we think the line actually means. And we are saddened by this reality. So students, when we write our literary discussion, these are the core ingredients that your teacher will be looking for. If you have any further questions or concerns, please do WhatsApp us or message us at academiamasters.org@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.